In this video, I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to cut and sew this stylish two-piece bustier blouse. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. So this dress is from Total Niger on Instagram. So to start, here is my pattern paper and I'm going to start by marking my basic measurement for this pattern. So first, I'm going to place my tape and I'll mark my shoulder to bust line, shoulder to under bust line, and then I'll mark my shoulder to waist line. After that, I'll go ahead to mark my blouse length. For my blouse length, I'm just making use of 5 inches after my waistline. Now, I'll go ahead and remark this measurement all the way to on the other side of the pattern paper, and I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler and draw out a straight line. After ruling out this straight line, the next step I'll take is to go ahead to label my pattern as shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, and my blouse length. So the next step is to mark my shoulder divided by 2. Now I'll come down by 1 inch, place my ruler, and I'll draw out my shoulder slope. Next, I'm going to find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, which gave me 7 inches, and I drew out a straight line on that point. I'll go ahead to place back my tape and I'll place my ruler and draw a straight line at that point. Now, I'll divide what I have on my armhole into 2 and come out by ½ inch. I'll place my tape and I will mark my bust circumference divided by 4. I'll connect from my bust circumference to the ½ inch and I'll take this all the way up. So after I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline. Next step is to mark your dart after marking this, and to mark your dart, you need your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2. I have 3.5 inches. Now I'm going to mark this all the way to the lower part of my pattern, and after I'm done marking this, I'll place my ruler and draw out a straight line. Now I'll extend my pattern by 1.5 inches from my chest line, so you can use 2 inches. It totally depends on what you want. Now go back and mark your nipple to nipple divided by 2 and connect back. I'll be taking a dart intake of 1 inch on both sides. So my bust is on the smaller size. Let's say you're a bit busty, you can use 1.5 inches, or you're on the plus size, go ahead to use 1.5 inches for your pattern. Now I'll go ahead to place my ruler and I'm going to go ahead to draw out a straight line connecting from the waist to the blouse length and to the under bust. After that, I'll place my curved drew connecting from the bust to the under bust, and also repeating this same process at the other side of my pattern. After I'm done marking that, I'm going to go ahead to come in for my dart intake. Now I'll be using that same 1 inch here on both sides. So let's say you're a plus size also, or you're a bit busty, you can go ahead to use 1.5 inches or on both sides, or 1 inch at the center and 2 inches on the other side. Now I'll go ahead and blend in my darts. After that, I'll draw this out and I will outline the rest of my pattern. After outlining this, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to insert my body measurements. For my bust, I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 33 divided by 4. I have 8.3. Pick the dart that I have here, replace it, then add my sewing allowance. Here, I'll mark my under bust measurement divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace, and add my sewing allowance. So I'm using 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance, which is not a standard. You can use more than that. You can use 2 inches or more. My under bust and my waist is the same measurement, which is 28 inches. Now, I'll mark my hip circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace, and add my sewing allowance. I'll place my ruler and I'll go ahead to connect. Now from that point, I'm going to go ahead to connect from my waist to my hip point. Now after marking that, I'll just go ahead to use my marker to outline my pattern, and this is what I have. The next step is to come up by 1.5 or 2 inches here. It totally depends on you, and I will connect. I will go ahead to draw out the neckline areas of this pattern, and I'll blend it into the armhole. Now I will label my pattern as center and side. Next step is to mark your bust dart, and to do that is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. My shoulder to waist in front is 17 inches. My shoulder to waist at the back is 15.5. So taking out 15.5 from 17 inches, you have 1.5. So after this, I went ahead to cut out my pattern. Now I'm going to blend in this dart this way so that it's going to match up, right? And if yours is not meeting up, go ahead to blend it out before going ahead to cut out. Now I'll go ahead to cut out the rest of my pattern. If you have any questions so far, please go ahead to leave it at the comment section. So I'll go ahead to tape this up. Now for the strap on the neckline, we'll be doing that when we are cutting out our pattern. Now I'll go ahead to cut out the rest of my bustier pattern, and I'll also cut out the other side, and this is what I have for the front pattern. So after cutting this, we'll be moving over to the back. Now for the back pattern, I'm going to go ahead to also mark out my measurement. So in front of my pattern, I've marked out my zipper allowance, which is about 1.5 inches. Now I'll mark my shoulder to bust and my shoulder to waist. After my waistline, I added extra 5 inches. So I'll go ahead and repeat the same process at this side of my pattern. Now I'll place my ruler and I'll draw out a straight line on this part. Now I'll also repeat it on the other side of my dress, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to go ahead to mark my shoulder divided by 2. Starting from the zipper, I'll mark, come down by 1 inch, and I'll place my ruler and I'll connect. After this, I'm going to go ahead to place my tape, and I'll find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to draw out that straight line on my chest line, mark what I have on the shoulder, go ahead to place my ruler and connect. So the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to mark my dart. I'll leave that part that way because I don't really need that. I'll go ahead to mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2. I have 3.5 inches. I marked that, placed my ruler and drew out a straight line. So after this, I'll be marking ½ inch on both sides for my dart. I'll go ahead to extend this all the way up, and I'll also extend it at the other side. So after this, I'll go ahead to measure about 4 inches here, and I'll extend this my darts all the way to the upper part from that 4 inches. Now I'll insert my body measurement. I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add a sewing allowance. Now my waist circumference, I'll divide it by 4, measure the dart intake, replace, and add my sewing allowance. Here on the hip, I'll mark my hip circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. So note, all my measurement is starting after the zipper line of this pattern. After I'm done marking that also, I'm going to come in by ½ inch here. Take out the zipper bulge or excess I have on this point. Now I'll extend this all the way up, and I'll come down by ½ inch here. I will slant it into the armhole. This is to make sure that the zipper does not pop up at that side. So you can go ahead to replace this ½ inch you took out here so that you not reduce your sewing allowance. After this, I'll go ahead and cut this, and I'll be cutting out 1.5 inches at the lower side of this pattern, just like we did for the front. So at this point, if you haven't yet subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments at the comment section, and if you also have any question, go ahead to leave it at the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks.